Found at an estate sale, this pink glass bird has one hole and a rubber stopper or O-ring. It doesn't stand up flat, ruling out its use as a bud vase. The single hole is on the wings. What is this delicate glass bird with a specific fitting? This pink glass bird is identified as a Christmas tree ornament, specifically the type designed to be illuminated from within by a light from a standard string of Christmas tree lights. The hole, fitted with a rubber O-ring or grommet, is sized to allow one of the small bulbs from a Christmas light string to be inserted. The ornament then hangs on the tree, and the internal bulb illuminates the colored glass from the inside, creating a glowing effect. The fact it doesn't stand flat further supports its use as a hanging ornament rather than a standalone figurine. This dense, perfectly balanced spherical object has been in the finder's possession for quite a few years, though its exact origin is only vaguely recalled. It is described as being very heavy for its size and very satisfying to hold. A key characteristic is its excellent balance. When placed on the tip of a pencil, utilizing an indentation inside its bore, it will spin very smoothly for a considerable time. The finder has meticulously measured its density via water displacement, yielding a volume of 22.7 millibars and a mass of 122.5 dri, resulting in an approximate density of 5,400 kg/m3. There are inscriptions on the inside of the bore, which have been photographed and transcribed. Notably, the bore is not cylindrical, but tapers inward away from the opening. What is this precisely engineered, heavy, spherical object? This highly engineered, dense, and perfectly balanced spherical object is identified as an oxinium femoral head, which is a component of a hip replacement prosthesis. Oxinium is a proprietary oxidized zirconium alloyed with niobium, then oxidized, developed by Smith & Nephew, a medical technology company. This material is used for the ball part of a ball and socket hip joint replacement because it offers very low friction, high wear resistance, and good biocompatibility. The spherical shape, precision balance for smooth articulation, the internal tapered bore for attachment to the femoral stem of the prosthesis, and the density, zirconium alloys are quite dense, all perfectly match the characteristics of an artificial femoral head. The inscriptions inside the bore would likely include manufacturer information, size, and lot numbers for traceability. It's a sophisticated piece of medical engineering designed to restore mobility and alleviate pain in patients with severe hip arthritis or injury. This heavy iron twisting mechanism weighs about 10 pounds and is rusty, indicating its age. It has a base of about 12 by 8 inches, excluding the handle. A handle, when turned, causes all 3 spindles on the device to rotate in the same direction. What could this multi-spindle hand-cranked iron machine have been used for? This heavy iron mechanism is identified as being part of a rope-making machine, specifically for twisting multiple strands together to form a rope. Traditional rope making involves taking several individual strands of fiber, like hemp, sisal, or cotton, and twisting them together in one direction, while simultaneously twisting the group of strands in the opposite direction to form a stable, strong rope. This hand-cranked device, with its 3 synchronized rotating spindles, would be used to hold and twist 3 individual strands. As the handle is turned, each spindle imparts a twist to its strand, and then these 3 twisted strands would be guided together and allowed to twist around each other to form the final 3-ply rope. It's a fundamental tool from the craft of rope making. This fabric item measures about 12 by 6 inches and has a flap of calico fabric on top that is only sewn on one side. It resembles a small pillowcase but has no opening for inserting a pillow. It is tagged Lord and Taylor Young People's Floor, indicating it's a child-related item from a department store. What is this specific fabric accessory? This fabric item is identified as an antique high chair cover or liner. In the past, wooden high chairs were common, and these fabric covers provided padding for comfort and also helped to keep the high chair cleaner and easier to maintain. The main part of the fabric would cover the seat and back of the high chair. The description, the print fabric, would go up the back, and the notches at the corners are for the side rails, perfectly matches how such a cover would be designed to fit around the structure of a traditional high chair with openings or shaping to accommodate armrests or tray supports. The Lord & Taylor Young People's Floor tag confirms its origin as a children's item from a well-known department store. These objects have sharp bits, making the finder think they might be some kind of stake. However, they also feature a hole, apparently for screwing something into or onto them. What are these spiky, mountable metal pieces? These sharp, pointed metal pieces with a screw hole are identified as spit forks, specifically the kind used on a motorized rotisserie, spit for cooking chicken, roasts, or other large pieces of meat. A rotisserie involves a long metal rod, the spit, that rotates slowly over a heat source, like a grill or in an oven. These forks, which usually come in pairs, slide onto the spit. The sharp prongs, the sharp bits, are pushed firmly into the ends of the meat to secure it to the spit, preventing it from slipping or rotating unevenly as the spit turns. The hole with a thumb screw, or a similar locking mechanism, is then used to tighten the fork onto the spit rod itself, locking it in position. If you love uncovering strange and mysterious objects, hit like and subscribe. Your support genuinely helps YouTube's algorithm find more curious explorers like you. Thank you for helping us grow. Stay curious. Observed at an apartment construction site, these are described as giant concrete screws. What are these large helical concrete structures being used for in the building process? These giant concrete screws are identified as screw piles, also known as helical piles or screw anchors. A screw pile is a type of deep foundation element that is literally screwed into the ground, much like a wood screw is driven into wood. It consists of a central steel shaft with one or more helical, screw-like plates welded to it. In this case, it seems the steel shaft might be encased in or topped with concrete, or they are prefabricated concrete piles with a helical design. They are installed using hydraulic rotary equipment that twists them into the soil to the desired depth or load-bearing capacity. Screw piles are used to support structures in difficult soil conditions, provide tension resistance, or where minimal site disturbance is required. They are an efficient alternative to traditional driven piles or poured concrete foundations. This gray rubber tack was found on a bedroom floor. The finder vacuums fairly regularly and assumes it got there recently. It feels rubbery and has the number 50 inscribed at its base. What is this small, numbered rubber piece? This small gray rubber object with an inscribed number looks like a rubber footpad. These are commonly found on the bottom of small appliances, electronic devices, furniture legs, or various household items to prevent them from slipping, scratching surfaces, or to dampen vibrations. The number 50 could be a mold number, a size indicator, or relate to the durometer, hardness, of the rubber. It likely became detached from some item in the bedroom, such as a lamp, an alarm clock, a small piece of furniture, or an electronic device. This wooden board with slots was hanging in a bedroom of a newly moved-into house. The finder speculates it might be for tea towels or something similar. What is this slotted wooden wall-mounted item actually for? This wooden board with slots is identified as a mail holder or wall organizer. These were, and still are, common household items, often mounted in kitchens, entryways, or home offices. The slots are designed for sorting and holding incoming or outgoing mail, letters, bills, notes, or other small papers. The commenter mentions their grandma still has and uses one in her kitchen, highlighting their traditional and enduring practicality for keeping correspondence organized and easily accessible. Found in the kitchen of a pull-behind camper, this small fixture has "King" written on it and features a tiny rectangle hole in the center. It is situated above an electrical outlet. The salesperson didn't mention it. What is this branded port? This fixture is identified as being for a cable to charge an internet receiver made by King, a company known for RV, recreational vehicle antennas, satellite systems, and connectivity solutions. The King branding is the key clue. The tiny rectangular hole in the center is likely a proprietary charging port or data connection port specifically for a King brand internet receiver, Wi-Fi extender, or cellular booster designed for use in RVs. Its placement above an outlet suggests it would be powered or charged from that outlet. These gray, powdery, lightweight bricks arrived unexpectedly in a TEMU package from China, along with other purchased items. They are very light, crumble easily into a fine dust, and measure about 3 inches on their longest side. Nobody knows what these are. What are these crumbly, lightweight bricks? These gray, powdery, lightweight bricks are identified as pumice stones. Pumice is a type of volcanic rock that is very porous, lightweight, and abrasive due to its rapid cooling from a frothy, gas-rich lava. It's commonly used for a variety of purposes, including as an exfoliant for skin to remove dead skin cells, especially from feet and elbows, for cleaning tough grime from surfaces, like toilet bowls or grill grates, or in gardening as a soil amendment to improve drainage and aeration. Their crumbly nature and light weight are characteristic. They might have been included in the TEMU package as a packing material, though unusual, or as a very inexpensive bonus item. These many weird, gear-like thingies are ferrous, magnetic. They have no key slots and are strung on a wire, possibly for storage or transport. The finder humorously imagines them as post-apocalyptic money or disc shooter ammo. What are these metallic, gear-like discs in reality? These magnetic gear-like discs are identified as flat tip cutters, or teeth, for a scarifier concrete grinder. A concrete scarifier, also known as a concrete planer or milling machine, is a heavy-duty piece of equipment used to remove layers of concrete, level uneven surfaces, clean concrete, or create texture for improved slip resistance or bonding. The machine uses a rotating drum fitted with multiple hardened steel or carbide cutters, like these, which aggressively chip and abrade the concrete surface. These flat-tip cutters are replaceable wear parts that are arranged on the drum. Being strung on a wire is a common way to package or store sets of these cutters. Found on the side of the road in a residential neighborhood, this object has 2 wheels and a stand. It's made of metal, possibly aluminum, and is painted orange. What is this wheeled metal frame? This object looks like the frame or chassis of one of those large, powerful fans designed for workshops, garages, or industrial settings, but with the motor, fan blades, and protective covers, grills, missing or broken off for some reason. These fans are often mounted on a wheeled frame with a stand or tilting mechanism to make them portable and allow for directional airflow. The orange paint is a common color for tools and workshop equipment. It's likely the functional components were salvaged or failed, and the remaining frame was discarded. This weird blue substance appeared on a front indoor door lock. It wasn't there the night before when the locks were checked. A second slide shows it after being wiped with a paper towel. What could this suddenly appearing blue goo be? This blue substance is identified as likely being blue silicone grease. Silicone grease is a waterproof lubricant that is stable over a wide range of temperatures and is often used for lubricating and protecting metal, plastic, and rubber parts. Some formulations are dyed blue for identification or specific applications. If the door lock mechanism was recently lubricated with such grease, or if it contains factory-applied grease, a sudden increase in temperature, e.g., direct sunlight on the door or a nearby heat source, could cause the grease to become less viscous and flow or weep out from the lock mechanism's crevices or around the lever, leading to its unexpected appearance. Large metal things with 6 limbs are seen on the back of a truck near Gary, Indiana. The pictures are blurry due to being taken while in motion. What are these large, complex industrial components? These large metal objects with multiple limbs, likely insulator bushings or connection points, are identified as large sulfur hexafluoride, SF6, circuit breakers manufactured by Mitsubishi. SF6 circuit breakers are high-voltage electrical circuit breakers used in power transmission and distribution substations. Sulfur hexafluoride gas is an excellent dielectric, insulator, and arc quenching medium, allowing these breakers to interrupt very high fault currents safely and efficiently. Their large size and complex structure, with multiple porcelain or composite insulator bushings, are characteristic of high-voltage switchgear designed for outdoor substation environments. Mitsubishi Electric is a major manufacturer of such heavy electrical equipment. This white ceramic basin was found in a school chemistry lab cupboard. It's around 8 inches long and 1 inch wide, with a widened part at one end, 2 inches wide, that has a little platform with a hole in it. No current technicians or teachers can identify it, and it must have been in the department for at least 30 years. What is this specific piece of vintage labware? This white ceramic basin is suggested to be a sterilizer, likely a misspelling of sterilizer, for medical or laboratory instruments. The long, narrow trough shape would be suitable for immersing small instruments, like scalpels, forceps, needles, or glass slides, in a sterilizing solution, e.g. alcohol or disinfectant, or for heat sterilization if the ceramic is suitably refractory. The widened end with a platform and hole might be for draining, holding a specific tool, or part of a handling mechanism. The side flanges could allow the tray or its contents to be handled with forceps or tongs, especially if hot after heat sterilization. It's a piece of older laboratory apparatus for maintaining sterile conditions for small instruments. Found at an op shop thrift store in the kitchenware section, this small yellow plastic thing has 3 spherical cavities and a clip-on lid. It has no writing on it and feels like typical kitchen plastic. An animal face is molded into each hemisphere of the lid. What is this food preparation gadget? This small yellow plastic item with spherical cavities and an animal-faced lid is identified as a rice ball maker, specifically one designed for making fun, shaped rice balls for kids' meals or bento boxes. Cooked rice, often seasoned sushi rice, is pressed into the spherical molds. When the lid is clipped on and pressed, it compacts the rice into perfectly round balls. The animal faces on the lid would imprint a cute design onto the top of each rice ball, making them more appealing to children. These are common and inexpensive kitchen gadgets, especially popular in Japanese and other Asian cuisines where rice is a staple. This carved wooden box contains small metal tools. What are these sharp, specialized metal implements kept in an ornate box? These small, sharp metal tools, housed in a carved wooden box, are identified as Indonesian cockfighting spurs. Cockfighting, though illegal in many countries, is a traditional blood sport in some cultures, including parts of Indonesia. In these fights, sharp metal spurs, called gaffs or tajis, are attached to the natural spurs or legs of the gamecocks. These artificial spurs are designed to inflict maximum damage on the opposing bird, making the fights quicker and more lethal. The spurs themselves are often finely crafted and can be quite ornate, sometimes kept in decorative boxes like this one. Nan's Bowley Cauldron was found in the cellar. It has a stamp, Empire Plate EPNS. Online searches have been unhelpful. What is this silver-plated serving vessel? This Bowley Cauldron is identified as a chafing dish, likely missing its glass liner, lid, and possibly its stand with a burner. Empire Plate EPNs indicates it's made by Empire Plate and is electroplated nickel-silver, a base metal, usually nickel-silver, coated with a thin layer of pure silver. Chafing dishes are used to keep food warm at the table, especially for buffet-style serving. They typically consist of an outer pan that holds hot water, an inner food pan, often a removable glass or metal liner, a lid, and a stand with a small burner, using chafing fuel or an alcohol lamp, underneath to keep the water hot. This red plastic insert is a solid, loose, removable piece found in the gas tank opening of a push mower. The section that goes down into the tank can be oriented or turned in any position. The finder knows where it goes, but can't figure out its purpose, or if it's necessary. What is this plastic insert? This red plastic insert is believed to be a simple visual gas level indicator for the push mower. These types of rudimentary indicators, often brightly colored for visibility, float on top of the gasoline in the tank. As the fuel level drops, the indicator also drops, and its position relative to the top of the tank opening or markings on the insert itself gives the user a rough idea of how much fuel is remaining. It's not a precise gauge, but provides a quick visual check. While not strictly necessary for the mower to run, it's a helpful convenience feature. These squishy brown balls were found along the Chesapeake Bay in Maryland. They are fairly common in the area, uniform in size, and the finder suspects they might be man-made. What are these unusual spherical objects? These squishy brown balls are identified as being similar to specialized cleaning balls used in some industrial settings, including potentially nuclear power plants, for cleaning out certain non-radioactive pipes. These balls, often made of sponge rubber or a similar compressible material, are forced through pipes under pressure to scrub the internal surfaces and remove scale, sediment, or biofouling. While they are meant to be captured at the output end of the system, accidental releases can occur. The commenter mentions a past incident where several million such balls were released into the Great Lakes, suggesting this type of object can indeed end up in waterways. Their uniform size and man-made feel support this identification. This P-shaped metal pole is a long-standing fixture in a parking lot. No one can remember ever seeing it used for anything. What was this unusually shaped pole originally intended for? This P-shaped metal pole is the support pole for a basketball hoop, with the hoop and backboard now missing. The distinctive P-shape or gooseneck design is very common for outdoor basketball poles. This shape allows the backboard and hoop to be offset from the pole itself, positioning the hoop out over the playing surface, the pavement of the parking lot in this case, while keeping the main support pole safely out of the direct play area, reducing the risk of players colliding with it. The top of the P is where the backboard would have been mounted. On the side of a brick building in St. Louis, a star-shaped metal object, an anchor plate for the brick wall, is noted. Next to it is a bell-shaped metal object that none of the other houses on the block have. What is this accompanying bell-shaped fixture? The bell-shaped object is identified as a metal insulator bracket, part of an old electrical service entrance. The star-shaped anchor plate is indeed a structural tie for the brick wall. The bracket next to it is designed to hold 3 electrical insulators, typically made of glass or porcelain, though in this picture, only 2 insulators appear to be present. These insulators allow the overhead power lines coming from the utility pole to be securely attached to the house without the electrical current grounding out through the building structure. The bracket bears the mechanical strain of the service drop wires. The commenter notes that the porcelain insulators are of a size appropriate for a residential power service. This small, very light gold, bullet-shaped object has been appearing mysteriously. One was first seen on a windowsill in an apartment building's common area. Later, one was found in the finder's own apartment and another in their car cup holder. What could these small, recurring items be? This small, light gold, bullet-shaped object looks like the decorative end cap or temple tip from a pair of sunglasses or eyeglasses. Many eyewear frames, especially metal ones or those with thin temple arms, have small plastic or metal caps that fit over the very end of the arm, the part that rests over the ear. These provide a more comfortable and finished feel. They can sometimes become loose and fall off, especially with older or less expensive glasses. Finding them in multiple locations suggests someone is frequently losing them from their eyewear. Discovered while walking along a beach near Portincross Castle in Scotland, this intriguing object feels more like bone than wood. A significant feature is a piece of metal embedded near its top. Initial attempts to identify it using Google photo identification yielded varied and somewhat unconvincing results, including a Jewish musical instrument, a bone toothbrush handle, or a clothes peg, none of which seemed to quite fit the overall appearance and context. What could this weathered, bone-like artifact with a metal component be? Based on previous similar identifications on Reddit, this object is suggested to be the heavily weathered remains of a bone-handled knife that has spent a considerable amount of time in the sea. Historically, many knives, particularly utility knives, hunting knives, or eating utensils, were made with handles crafted from animal bone or antler. If such a knife were lost at sea or discarded on the coast, the wooden or metal blade would likely corrode and break down significantly over time due to the harsh marine environment, saltwater, abrasion from sand and waves. However, the denser bone handle material might survive longer, albeit in a weathered and eroded state. The piece of metal embedded near the top could be the remnant of the tang, the part of the blade that extends into the handle, the bolster, or rivets that once secured the handle scales to the blade. Its discovery on a beach near a historic castle is consistent with finding aged, deteriorated artifacts. This black box is included with a giant shackle. What is the purpose of the electronic component integrated with this heavy-duty lifting gear? This is identified as a load pin shackle. A standard shackle is a U-shaped metal piece used for connecting and securing loads in rigging and lifting operations. A load pin shackle, however, has a specialized pin that incorporates a load cell. The black box contains the electronic equipment, strain gauges, signal conditioning, display, or transmitter connected to this load cell. This allows the shackle to not only connect a load, but also to accurately measure the tensile force or weight of the load being lifted or pulled. This data is crucial for safety, ensuring lifting equipment is not overloaded, and for verifying load weights in various industrial, maritime, and construction applications. If you love uncovering strange and mysterious objects, hit that like button and subscribe. Stay curious. More finds coming soon.